What up, y'all? John Murray here, and I want to say thank you for tuning in to the YouTube playback of my Facebook Live series, Let's Talk Live. Now, because this version is not live, you won't be a part of the interactive conversation, so don't look for a shout out. You won't be getting one. However, enjoy the Hot Topics dialogue and follow me on Facebook at Jawn Murray World. That's JAWNMURRAY World, so that you can catch a live broadcast and be a part of the conversation. Now, let's join Let's Talk Live, already in progress. Riley Salmon, hello. Yeah, it's been a minute, you guys, but we are live tonight. We are talking about whatever you want to talk about. I'm answering some questions, telling y'all a little bit about where I've been and some of what I've been doing. But it's a free-for-all tonight. I feel like I didn't need to overload this thing with structure. Didn't need to overload this thing recapping my trips and travel, because I ain't been here for a while. So let me just give y'all what y'all want. Some good conversation. But I appreciate you guys. We are almost at our starting point. Again, if you are just getting on here, hit the share button for me. Also, please make sure you've subscribed to my YouTube channel. There's some great content on my YouTube channel. If you ever miss me on television, you can always see what you missed on my YouTube channel. And it's just my name, Jawn Murray, Jawn. Hello, Vicky Stone. Yeah, hit me up there. Follow me on YouTube. If for some reason you're not on YouTube, so you can't follow or subscribe, then make sure you're following me on Instagram. I am now going to start posting my full-length TV clips as well on Instagram. So my Instagram is just my full name, JAWNMURRAY. Hello, Monica Leek and Kevin Moore and DeAndre K. Pope. Appreciate y'all being here. So yeah, follow me on my Instagram as well. The only thing, my only social media that's different is here. Like, everything else is just my name, and this one is Jawn Murray World. So, yes, Kenny Hilliard is in the house. Raw reunion tonight, but they got that guy Hulk Hogan there. We're not happy about that. But I appreciate everybody who has hit the share button. Hello, Carlisa R. Link. And Kim Davis said, don't rush things. Oh, you want me to take my time, Kim Davis, huh? Nice and slow is how you want it. Janelle Charisma, hello. I appreciate you. We are almost at our start number. And so while we're getting to that place, because I am going to kind of let it marinate tonight, just for you, Kim Davis, and Deneen Knight, and Janelle, and all of y'all. So I was in the Bahamas. I was down there doing a conference called Global United Fellowship. It's one of the only Christian conferences I do. You guys who have been following Let's Talk Live for a long time have heard me talk about Global United Fellowship and their annual conference, The Gathering, before. And if you keep up with me on social media, you know that several times throughout the year I travel to the Bahamas to do different things for Bishop Neil Ellis, who is the presiding bishop of Global United Fellowship. Growing up in church, I have a complicated relationship with church now. I still identify as a Christian. I love God and Jesus and all of that. But I don't always like his people and what they teach and what they do. And so I ain't necessarily one of the people who are using the hashtag church hurt, though I've definitely experienced my own level of it. However, I'm very particular about what I attach myself to, and I'm very particular about what I endorse. And sometimes you don't have to audibly endorse a thing, and sometimes you don't necessarily have to post something on social media to endorse a thing, but sometimes your presence is all the endorsement that you need. And so, growing up in church, developing a complicated relationship with church, and just being very conscientious about who I attach myself to, and etc. just makes me a little leery. But in all of that, Global United Fellowship is an awesome organization that I'm really grateful to be connected to, and Bishop Neil Ellis is the real deal. And so I was there. I hosted a panel which ended up on Larry Reed Live. Parts of it did, called "Should We Rethink the Way We Do Church?" And I moderated the panel. It was 3 generations of preachers. It was an insightful conversation that got a little more provocative when we went to the Q&A with the audience. And then I also participated in their Word Network broadcast live that particular Friday. And then now I'm excited to delve into this, which is The In-Between, The Journey Between Your Dream and Your Destiny by Bishop Neil Ellis. This is a book he gifted me with before I left. This guy here, listen, it's a lot of people out here pretending. There's a lot of people out here faking and baking and they taking and all that stuff. But this guy here, this guy right here, he's the real deal. Anybody got something bad to say about him, I'd be hard pressed to believe it, because that one there's a good guy. And so while I was in the Bahamas, I went past my favorite place, the Bahamas Rum Cake Factory. Let me tell you, there's a lot of different rum cakes in the Bahamas. But if you're ever in Bahamas, whether you go on a cruise ship, whether you're there at a resort, I don't care what you're there for, make your way to the Bahamas Rum Cake Factory. Like, don't get none of them other brands that, like, screenshot this photo. Keep it in your phone. Screenshot this. Are you getting a screenshot? Screenshot that, and because this is the best rum cake you'll ever have. I brought one home for my mama. She said, ooh, it was nice and moist, and I could taste the alcohol in it. So she didn't get drunk though, because they bake all that out. But yeah, it's the best. There's some good rum cake there. Boo Boo Jeffries, good to see you, my love. So yeah, good time in the Bahamas. Before I went to the Bahamas, I was down in New Orleans for the Essence Festival. It was an alright time. You know, it was their 25th anniversary, and I was very happy that Lonnie Love was hosting the main stage. Congratulations to her. She's like the first woman in like 24 years to host the main stage. And, you know, it just was... I think I've done Essence too many times. I didn't enjoy the capacity in which I was there, other than moderating the panel for Brian Banks. I moderated Clips and Conversation panel with the movie Brian Banks, which comes out August the 9th. It's a story about the real life guy Brian Banks, who went to prison for 6 years after being falsely accused of raping a girl that he went to high school with. He fought to overturn his conviction, and the movie captures what got him locked up and his road to redemption. And you learn so much about the criminal justice system and what people who have been convicted and are trying to get reacclimated to society are having to deal with. So great movie. So please, sir, please, man, go see Brian Banks. Not just because they paid me to host their Clips and Conversation, but because it really was a good film. Like, I took time out of my busy schedule when I could have been eating beignets and hanging out in New Orleans to watch a movie in my hotel room on a private screening link, and it was that good. So, yeah, Brian Banks, August 9th, go see it. Aldous Hodge stars, Greg Kinnear, and my best friend Sherry Shepard. So, yeah, go see that. Renee Dunbar from Arkansas in the house. You know, Renee, I was hanging out with a friend of mine who is from Arkansas, Little Rock, actually, this weekend. My friend Koto Mamulo, who many of you know from Project Runway fame. She was here in D.C. doing a fashion show, and we got to spend some time together on Saturday before she flew home. So those in the D.C. area, and for those who know how to watch TV on streaming links, catch me on Tuesday. I'm going to be guest hosting for the third time. Would have been my fourth time if a tornado didn't preempt me once. But I'll be on Fox 5's DC primetime show, Let's Talk Live. So I'm doing that tomorrow night. Watch it if you can, 7 o'clock p.m. I'm not sure it repeats at 2 p.m. The next day anymore. But yeah, check me out, and I'll post that information tomorrow. And for those who are just joining us, I appreciate you joining us. Thanks for getting in on the dialogue. We're doing a free-for-all tonight. I have promised to take it nice and slow. However, I'm going to get out of here. You know, sometimes if I haven't been on for a while, I'll give you guys an extra long one. But I have to be off here by 8 o'clock p.m. because I need to get to my favorite place, Trader Joe's, before they close by 9 o'clock. Yes. Oh, okay. So listen, another thing. This weekend, I'm gonna be in Cincinnati, Ohio. Anybody from Cincinnati here? Anybody near Cincinnati? Anybody going to the Cincinnati Music Festival? Is it Cincinnati Music? Yeah, Cincinnati Music Festival. I'm going to be moderating a conversation called New Truths. It's going to be in the Listeners Lounge at the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center. So this Saturday, the 27th, meet me there. I will be moderating a panel on being a black man and our image in society today. There's some other really great panelists. So come and meet me in Cincinnati, Ohio, Saturday. And then I'm going to hang out and maybe go to some of the music festival too. So if you see me around, say what's up. One thing I hate is for people to see me and be like, I didn't want to bother you. And then you get on my social media and be like, hey, I saw you, but I didn't want to bother you. Now you're bothering me because I'm annoyed that you didn't say hello the first time. So, yes. So, all right, let's get to some of the questions. It's all about y'all tonight because I've been gone. All right, let's see here. Amara. Oh, I posted a new article on my Facebook page about R. Kelly's crisis manager. He's an interesting guy, a little sassy fella he is, and he was on CBS this morning with Gale and Company, and then he did that impromptu press conference last week where he got ambushed by the parents of Joycelyn Savage. And he said that he has a 21-year-old daughter. He would let his own 21-year-old daughter spend time with R. Kelly. And that if his own 21-year-old daughter was in R. Kelly's house, he would have drove a truck up in there to get her. Now, when your own crisis manager, is out here talking about, they might not let their own daughter be around you, you might need new representation, R. Kelly. It's crazy. All right, let's see some of the questions. Renee Dunbar asks, how about all these Democrats in the political race? Who will be weeded out? I don't know who will be weeded out. We're still early in the process. If you look at politics of yesteryear and some of the elections of the past, there were people at this point in the election that looked like they were going to be the front runners for their parties who ultimately did not even get the nomination. So I remember the year that 2016, leading up to that election, it looked like Jeb Bush was going to be the front runner, and then the country ended up with this, bigoted demagogue, racist, homophobic orange man. So, it's hard to tell, but enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, enjoy learning about the people. I think, some of our front runners are really strong. I think Biden is strong. I think Kamala Harris is strong. I think Elizabeth Warren is strong. It'll be interesting to see if some of the people who are not polling as well at the bottom of the barrel end up rising to the occasion. I'm not into Bernie Sanders. I know there are people who are. I hope this time around the people who support him aren't as foolish as they was the last time around, and all that Bernie or bust, and Bernie or no votes, foolish. Regardless, I'm a political junkie. I watch a lot of cable news. I go in and out of. I watch a lot and then I pull back because the reality is that it can overwhelm you. But I'm excited to watch this campaign and the process play out, and I hope that we don't get too dirty with ourselves and do this time around what Bernie Sanders people did to Hillary Clinton the last time around. But I'm excited to see us finally get a candidate and so people contend with that thing that's in the White House. So Joanne Sturdivant Lyles says, is Kenya Moore back on the Housewives? So who's out? Apparently Kenya Moore is back on the Housewives. Apparently she does have a peach this season. Andy Cohen was on the Wendy Williams show where he talked about that, and he said her husband will be involved this time. They have a newborn baby. So Kenya Moore is back in the mix. And as far as who is out, if I'm not mistaken, Shamari DeVoe may have been demoted to a friend on the show, and she might not be a full-time cast member. I'm not sure about that. That part has not been confirmed, but we do know that Kenya Moore is back with Peach in hand. And everybody else just said really nice things. And so greetings to everybody else who just joined us. If you've just joined us, I appreciate you being here. A couple things I'd like for you to do while you're hanging out. Participate in the conversation. One, hit the share button. Let some of your friends, followers, fans, family, all that stuff know we're here having good conversation. And then two, make sure you're following me on Instagram, JAWNMURRAY, and make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube as well. Yeah, because the YouTube channel is popping. All my good video content, just a lot of really good stuff there. So I appreciate you all. And no problems, Joanne, and no problems, Renee, for answering your questions. If some of you, the rest of you have questions, feel free to send them over. Hello, Tawana Harley. And I'll try to get to those tonight as well. What else has been going on in the world? You know, there was something that I saw that I really did not like. It happened around the 4th of July holiday. So there were a couple stories that talked about Meghan McCain and questioned if she was going to be returning to The View, and she would need some things to change. Basically, it was an orchestrated PR campaign. I feel like she's on the Make Them Like Me tour. And as part of the story, it sounded like they were trying to throw the bus, run the bus over Sunny Hostin, accusing Sunny of being the show's leak. Just you know, just really, really bad stuff. Nonetheless, I love Sunny Hostin. I think she's a great person. I know her in real life. To know Sunny is to know that anything that Meghan McCain would ever accuse her of is a bunch of bull. It was the worst kind of smear campaign, that I've seen in a long time, and I didn't like it. And I know that just the other day, Meghan McCain did the revelation that she had suffered a miscarriage and all that stuff. And I pray for her and her family and all of that. But while I'm nobody's pediatrician or OBGYN or whatever the other doctor is that deals with women, one of the things I know for sure is high levels of stress, being angry, and just carrying themselves the way that you do can't be a healthy way for somebody who is trying to start a family. So I hope that this is a learning experience for her, but she needs to stop our people from doing the smear campaign against Sunny. Like, that's just not cool. And anybody who knows anything about Sunny on that show knows that's a bunch of bullshiggity. Alright, I was waiting for some of you guys to ask questions, which is why I went on that random rant. But holla at me. Let's talk about some things. Somebody said, what am I going to buy at Trader Joe's? There's a couple things that I like there that I need to get. One is their cowboy caviar. It's like a salsa type of dish. They also have these new popsicles that I really, really, really like. And what else am I going to get tonight? I needed something else. Oh, I like these blue corn potato chips to eat with my cowboy caviar. So I need my chips and my cowboy caviar to go with watching my WWE reunion show tonight. So yes. All right. A couple of you asked questions. I don't have the answers to them, so I haven't acknowledged your questions. Sorry. Waylon Pitt says she loves the pancake bread. I've never tried it. Todd Neals had that cowboy caviar. That stuff is good. And Perdita has a Trader Joe's near her. Wonderful. Nikisha Hurdle says the reboot of Blade does not include Wesley Snipes. That is correct. It actually will include Mahershala Ali. I can't wait to see what he brings to that. Lynn Johnson says, am I planning to see The Lion King? Yes, I will probably see The Lion King, which had a huge opening weekend at the box office. So congratulations to Disney and to that franchise. Everybody's telling me what they like at Trader Joe's now. Somebody else said, oh, DeAndre K. Pope said, what are your thoughts on all the Disney remakes? Are they killing the nostalgia, or are they good for the culture? Well, you know what? People have been doing remakes for years. I mean, all these black and white movies that our great somebody's was watching, were remade into movies that people of, I think I'm in the Generation X. I think I'm a Generation Xer. What's right above the millennials? That's Generation X, right? I'm a Generation Xer. So yeah, like all the movies that we grew up on, a lot of those were adapted from old black and whites, and so taking a fresh spin so these new kids, the teenagers, the preteens, the babies can see this stuff. I get it. I have appreciation for it. The trailer for Cats had everybody talking. If you go on my Facebook page and on my YouTube page, I was on HLN Weekend Express with my friend Susan Hendricks over the weekend, and we talked about the trailer from Cats coming out. And, I don't even know if I'll see Cats because I got a cat allergy. I'm going to have to take a Benadryl just to go to the theater. But yeah, it's an interesting looking trailer. Yes, Mueller testifies this week. Damali Sandman. Yes, I'll be watching some of that. I'm also traveling too, so I will have to try to indulge some of that while also being out in Cincinnati. Though I think it starts on Wednesday, which I should be there. The great question. Michelle Steeler Baby Wood says, do you think Essence shows their festival in other cities or keep it in New Orleans? New Orleans is the home of the Essence Festival. They're not leaving there. It's actually a really great hub for the Essence Festival, and it really economically does exceptionally well for the city. It used to be a weekend where nobody went to New Orleans because it's extremely hot in New Orleans. But now it's the largest festival in the world with over 500,000 people who gather in New Orleans for this festival. And it generates so much money for the city that businesses, stores, hotels, everybody, they go into the black for the year. So if they don't make another dollar the rest of the year, they make their money at Essence Festival. So Essence did leave New Orleans one year. They went to Houston right after Hurricane Katrina just because New Orleans wasn't in a position to be able to host the festival. But as soon as they could go back and help revitalize that city with all the money that they generate that particular weekend, they went back. And so, New Orleans has a black mayor. Her name is LaToya. The city is doing well. And, I don't ever see Essence Festival leaving New Orleans. New Orleans and Essence really kind of go hand in hand. Yes, I'll be watching the Raw reunion. I'm excited to see my good friend Mark Henry on there. I'm not excited to see Hulk Hogan for all the obvious reasons. And it would be great if some of the other guys like MVP would be there. I'd love to see Carlito come back. I would love to see Crime Time make its return to WWE tonight. So those are some of the people I would love to see. Maybe a hologram of Dusty Rhodes. That's a stretch. But yeah, I'll be watching the Raw reunion tonight. WWE in its finest. Jason McClandon says, have I been watching Sunday Best? And if so, what are your thoughts? I actually have been watching Sunday Best. I was concerned about the show this season when it first started. I felt like it was, it looked a little blue. I wasn't, it felt like they were auditioning in somebody's living room. I just wasn't really feeling the vibe. But it started to get better as it moved on. I was also a little concerned about some of the vocalists, but I feel like the ones that are there kind of finding their stride. The other thing is that while I like a good theme show on a competition show, last week when they took like R&B songs and flipped them to make them gospel songs, in theory, I'm cool with that idea because there are lots of songs that are R&B songs that I listen to that I can like hear the church in it or hear the gospel aspect of it. For example, if I was producing a show like that or a music supervisor on a show like that, like I would have had them do Gloria Estefan's "Coming Out of the Dark," like easily adaptable into a gospel song. I would have them do Genuine's "Differences," very easily adaptable to a gospel song. And there are other songs that would have been very effortless and making it work in a show like that. However, they did Ella Mae's "Trip." Nothing about "Trip" should have been turned into a gospel song. And "Trip," from my understanding, is like one of the most popular songs being performed in strip clubs right now. So it was just inappropriate, and you could tell whoever was working on that aspect of the show clearly doesn't have an understanding of the genre, and it was very poorly done. However, this week I thought it was really good because they did the whole ode to the movies, and they took all the faith-based songs from various films and had the different contestants perform those. I thought it went really, really well. I think Kirk Franklin is an exceptional mentor on the show, but even the weaker vocalist had a good showing. So the young lady who's on the show, Keisha, I knew her when she was signed to RCA Records. I don't think her full-length record ever really came out, but I met her years ago. She was a sweetheart. So for me, it was really good seeing her on the show, seeing what she was up to. I know she's like new to gospel music, and all of this is an adjustment for her. I wish they wouldn't have emphasized so much of that in her storyline and really would have allowed her to kind of cut her teeth and like coached her into being comfortable and gave her songs that really worked to showcase that raspiness that she has to her voice. I think I know who the final three are going to be just based on the performances that I'm seeing on the show. They're definitely a couple favorites that I've developed. Josh Copeland would be at the top of the leaderboard for me. I really like Melvin Crispell Jr. And the young lady Tiffany Andrews can really sing. Now Tiffany had on that dress that had a split like this in the middle. Split was up high, and so she was doing the Sugar Avery song from The Color Purple. And I said, well, thank God she wasn't doing Miss Sophia, because if she'd have fell out and that dress would have went up, woo-ha! It would have went from Sunday Best to Sunday Best After Dark. It got a little interesting with that slit, but here's my challenge with Sunday Best, and it's my challenge, and I've said this on Let's Talk Live before. All of these competition shows using active recording artists as judges, I just think it's a bad formula. It makes the show less about the contestants and more about the judges. The Voice has never created a star. Not a single star has ever come off The Voice. Not anybody who's become a household name. Not anybody who's had a #1 single at radio. Not anybody who's had a substantial impact as a recording artist has come off The Voice. And it's because the show is all about the judges. It's not about the contestants. American Idol in its original form, you had Simon Cowell, who was the antagonist, who spoke his truth even when you didn't like it. He was hated, but sometimes his approach really pushed the contestants to be better. And so when he actually commended somebody or said something, it carried a lot more weight. You had Randy Jackson, who talked in his own vernacular, dog. But he also could talk it off the music industry genre. He knew technicalities. He knew flat and sharp and pitchy. You pitchy, dog. All of that. And then you had Paula Abdul, who was a Pastor Prime pop princess, who was the queen of compassion because she could relate to these people, having been a performer herself. But her career as somebody who was not actively performing at the time was not predicated on her being nice to people on the TV show. She just was being herself. Now, luckily, the TV show revitalized her career and put her in a position where she started working again. But it was a formula that worked. You gotta have people, even on a gospel show, that tell the people the truth, that push the people to greatness, that just, and then there's just some strange things happening on Sunday Best. I won't even get into it, but yeah. So that's how I feel about Sunday Best. I'll keep watching, and the ratings are good, so hopefully BT will stick with it. Thoughts on Keke Palmer? Keke Palmer is guest hosting Michael Strahan and Sarah Hayes' show. Strahan and Sarah all summer long while Sarah's on maternity leave, and Michael Strahan is working on a limited schedule because he's shooting game shows and being the big star that he is. And thoughts on Ricky Smiley taking over for the TJMS? Will he be continuing the cruise in the family reunion? Okay, so Tom Joyner is, for anybody who just doesn't know, been under a rock, hiding somewhere, is retiring at the end of the year. At the end of the year, it's quits for the Fly Jock. He literally is going home. And so Ricky Smiley will be taking over his format in what they call the adult urban contemporary market. So growing in sexy music with Ricky Smiley, Eva Marcel, and Gary with the T as the host of the new version of the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. You know, kind of almost like the same show with different, more mature music. But Tom is still going to do his cruise. And I don't know about the family reunion, but he's definitely going to do his cruise. And Tom did a deal with the company that he's retiring from to do the cruise for 3 more years. So, and then there is talk that Head Crack, and deservingly so, will be taking over in Ricky's time slot. So he will head a new hip-hop oriented show. I think it'll be Head Crack, Portia, and Debrat. So that's my understanding of what's going down. But the fundamentals are Tom Joyner's retiring, Ricky Smiley stepping into the time slot, and I think he'll do exceptionally well. Nikisha Hurdle says, Wendy Williams' show is more about her adventures than Hot Topics lately. Have I been watching? Yes. I actually enjoy Wendy talking more about her life and her being the hot topic. I love Wendy having fun and being the girl next door and living her best life as she, heads into divorce and is split with her husband. I think the funner, lighter, more celebrity-friendly Wendy is so much more engaging, and she could literally do this show for 10 more years if she continues on this great path. I actually enjoy it more than her doing the traditional form of Hot Topics. The new Little Mermaid. Yeah, congrats. Now you're asking questions so fast. Oh, Gwen Maddox. Did I meet the Exonerated 5 at the festival? No, I did not meet the Exonerated 5, the gentlemen who were the subject of the Central Park 5. Did not. Let's see. How tall is Corey with his strong self? I don't know what you're talking about. If y'all can help me out, if y'all can ask questions, like full questions, who, what, when, where, why, and because I used to be a full-time writer, put a question mark at the end, it would help me answer your question. Like just throwing out statements at me or dropping words, like I'm trying to figure out what you're asking me. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. Let's see. Hold on, I'm trying to read. Some of y'all are just commenting on the things that I've already talked about. Nicole Maria Jackson says, is Ricky Smiley going to have the philanthropist vibe like Tom Joyner or just taking the time slot? That's a question you'd have to ask Ricky Smiley. I can't necessarily answer that. What's the girl from The Voice who is currently doing well in gospel? Her name is Corinne Hawthorne. And yes, she's done exceptionally well in the gospel music industry. But if we took her into most R&B and pop platforms, most people wouldn't know who she was, because most people in those platforms, which is the pinnacle of music, only really know the top of the food chain. Kirk Franklin, Yolanda Adams, Mary Mary, maybe BB and CeCe Winans, and Shirley Caesar. Michelle Woods wants to know why I think Steve Harvey's losing some of his positions. I talked about it in one of the older shows. I don't really want to talk about Steve today, so. No word on what Sybil is going to do after the Tom Jordan Morning Show, but Sybil is a dynamic talent. I am sure she's going to be doing something pretty spectacular. So stay tuned. Bishop Fulton Parham, hello. How you doing, man? Says, when am I going to get a TV deal, talk show, maybe NBC or CBS? I don't know. If it was that easy, sir, I'd have told you I had one last week. But this business just don't work that way. Hey, Dale Marie. Do I have feelings towards the Little Mermaid controversy? No, I don't. Like, there's controversy over everything at this point. People don't like cats. People don't like this. People don't. No. No. I don't have any opinion on that. You know. All right, come on, give me a few more questions in, because otherwise I'm going to go ahead and get an early start to Trader Joe's. Appreciate all of y'all hanging out with me. Appreciate, just appreciate y'all. For real. For shizzle, my nizzle. I'm going to eat this tonight, too. It's so good. Kim, what are you talking about? You do? Maybe I need to watch a few more episodes. Whatever happened to Juanita Bynum last night? What are your thoughts? I have no idea what you're talking about. Next time I'm in Atlanta, let's go to the skating rink. No. Not interested. Hello, Marquita DeMar. All right, I'm a Rhonda Burnett Chapman, not just any rum cake, but Bahamas Rum Cake Factory, the best rum cake. David Pickney said, what's my opinion on the A$AP Rocky situation? Oh, good question. Life is funny. There was a statement where he said he didn't want to be an activist, and why would he be rapping about Trayvon Martin or Ferguson or stuff like that? And lo and behold, who would have thought it? Now he's in a civil rights crisis. So he shouldn't be held in prison without or jail without being charged. What's happening there in Sweden is an awful thing, and they need to get him out. And maybe this was the wake-up call that will push him towards the activist that he never wanted to be. But if I was a person of color, I'd be leery about going there. All these other entertainers, it was like, it won't prevent me from going there getting that music. Getting that money. Okay, cool. Well, let's see what happens when you get there and they lock your tail up. Don't be calling us to help. We ain't starting no hashtags. So it's an unfortunate situation, but you know what? He might just got pushed into his purpose. Some of y'all have texted a couple things about Juanita Bynum and some bishop. I don't know, don't care, not remotely interested. And here's the thing. Here, I guess some of y'all might be newer to what I do or what we do here, and everybody has their appetite for what they like, and that's cool and all. But we do an elevated form of conversation here. So I've never done anything that was gossipy. I've never gotten into the nuanced discussions of the trashy talk on the blogs. That ain't just what I do. That's not my vibe. That's not my feel. For those who do that, they do that well. I like to really enlighten you guys on some things going on. I like to talk about places that you may not have been and places you should go, and I like to give you a point of view on things that you may not get, because some of you all live your life just by reading headlines and don't take in full stories and all that type of stuff. So with all that said, the real trashy, dishy, gossipy stuff, I never really get into that. So you can ask me, but I don't really have an answer for it, because first and foremost, I probably don't care. And then second of all, it's just a little beneath me. No shade to anybody. That's just not what I do. You know what I'm saying? Yes, as my Angie said, it's a trash-free zone around here. So, you know. All right. Have we had a good time? Was it nice and slow? Did I let y'all marinate in it? Is everybody good? Is everybody okay? Can I sign off now and head to Trader Joe's and come home and eat my cowboy caviar and my blue chips and watch the WWE reunion show? All right, because I think we've had a great time, you know. But now it's time for all of us to say goodbye to you. MICKEY MOUSE. Appreciate y'all.